have three different, I guess you could say, lessons of or on parents and their children in the Bible. So I just wanted to kind of touch on those to see or to really show that the things that we are going through with our parents or our kids is not anything new. We learned that there's nothing new under the sun. So we might feel like we're struggling and we're going through all these hard times, but it's also very important to know that we aren't the only ones, and that if God can do it for them then he can do it for us now as well. So Luke chapter 15 verses 11 through 32 paints a vivid picture of family conflict arising from a son's rebellion. The younger son requests for his inheritance and subsequent squandering represent choices that contrast his father's values. This breach leads to strained relations and hardships for the son. However, the parable is not a tale of despair, but a beacon of hope. The father's response to the wayward son is a powerful testament to forgiveness and unconditional love. Despite the rebellion and poor decisions, the father's open arms upon the son returned, emphasize the importance of forgiveness and reconciliation in the face of family conflicts. It teaches us that even amid strife, love has the transformative power to mend broken relationships. Then we also see in Samuel 1, well, 1 Samuel chapter 2, verses 12 to 36, the story of Eli and his sons is a tale about the repercussions of neglecting discipline and moral values within a family. We had some talk about this on Monday. So Eli is a priest. He's criticized. Also, I just have to point this out. Like, criticize and emphasize, they have a S. Some of this I did copy and paste, and it's supposed to be a Z right there, I know, but it's just bothering me that I didn't change it. Okay, so he's criticized for failing to restrain his sons who engage in corrupt practices. The conflict that unfolds highlights the impact of individual choice on family dynamics, leading to severe consequences for the entire household. This narrative underscores the importance of discipline, communication, and adherence to moral values in preventing conflicts within the family. It warns against turning a blind eye to wrongdoing and emphasizes the responsibility of parents to guide their children towards a path of righteousness. And then lastly, in Ephesians chapter 6, verses 1 through 4, the Bible provides practical guidance on the delicate balance required in a parent-teen, well, but you guys know we're not teens, but parent-teen relationship. Children are instructed to obey their parents, while fathers are cautioned against provoking their children to anger. This passage highlights potential conflicts. If discipline is overly harsh or unreasonable, it encourages parents to adopt a balanced and loving approach, fostering an atmosphere of open communication and understanding. Also, I will put the resources that I used to make this slide in the Telegram chat as well, if you guys want to, because it was really, I used two different devotionals, and then I kind of just condensed it or added a few things. So if you guys want to do those devotionals on your own time, I will put those in the Telegram chat. All right, so communication. Parents are urged to actively engage with their children, creating an environment where open communication is encouraged and valued as a crucial aspect of family dynamics. Ephesians chapter 6, verse 4, further reinforces the significance of communication, advising parents not to provoke their children to anger, but to bring them up in discipline and instruction of the Lord. This verse encourages a balanced approach where parents provide guidance and set boundaries without being excessively authoritarian. Understanding your children, your children's unique needs and challenges become essential in fostering a constructive parent relationship. All right, the foundation of love. The Bible places a profound emphasis on love within the parent child relationship. In 1 Corinthians 13 4 through 7, we talked about this a lot. Love is described in transformative terms: patient, kind, not envious or boastful, not arrogant or rude, not insisting on its own way, not irritable or resentful, and rejoicing in the truth. Applying these principles of love and parenting creates an atmosphere of trust and understanding. Unconditional love provides a steady anchor for both parents and their children. And then three, honoring parents. The concept of honoring one's parents, articulated in the Ten Commandments, which is Exodus 20, verse 12, offers another insightful perspective on the parent child relationship. Teaching the children the importance of respect and gratitude towards their parents fosters a sense of responsibility and strengthens family bonds. Parents are encouraged to lead by example, embodying the values they wish to instill in their children, creating a virtuous cycle of mutual respect. Amen. Love that. Mutual respect is very important. All right, so last week we kind of did touch on some of these questions. I know the first two definitely. Marnie was talking about how she just creates the space that her sons can feel. Oh, by the way, we should definitely try to get them on, Marnie. She creates the space to where they feel comfortable in confiding in her and communicating with her about anything. So she just kind of leaves the floor open for them to speak. And she doesn't shame them and stuff like that. And I feel like that's very important. Which also kind of answers the second question, which how do you apply the principles of love? Well, I guess not really. We talked about what love is in 1 Corinthians 13, but how do you incorporate that in your parenting? I feel like communication is very important as well. And then also number 3 is, in what ways can unconditional love serve as a steady anchor for both parents and children during, like, I guess, those struggles? So how can unconditional love serve you in midst of trouble in your relationship with your parent or your children? And how do you teach your teenager the importance of honoring and respecting you as parents, drawing inspiration from Exodus 20, verse 12? But really quickly, you guys can look over those. We don't have to really talk about the communication in number 1 because we already talked about it, but you guys can answer 2 through 4, any of those questions that stand out to you. But I do want to touch on number 4. How do you teach your teenager or your child the importance of honoring and respecting you as parents? I honestly want to touch on the previous slide that we talked about because it says something about mutual respect, and I totally agree with that 100%. Like, one thing that my mom, she kind of instills in us is I don't want it to sound bad because it's not a bad thing, but respect has to go both ways. So she pretty much says, like, don't let anybody disrespect you regardless of their age or their status. So, like, give an example, like, some family members can be disrespectful because you're a child or treat you a certain way because you are a child. And my mom, she always says, like, respect goes both ways. And I feel like she respects me and my sister as human beings. She doesn't look at us as our age, but as people. So she talks to us about certain things, and she's very open and she communicates, and I feel like that's very important. So yes, I feel like if you want to teach your children the importance of honoring you and respecting you, I feel like first you have to show them what respect is, and that goes by leading by example. So I feel like that was really good. I want to point that out. Um, Go ahead, Marnie. You can answer one of these questions, or all.
Am I doing 2 through 3, or I'm picking which one I want to answer?
You don't
I
have to
mean,
do all of them. Yeah, you can just pick which one stood out to you.
okay. How do you apply the principles of love from First Corinthians? I feel like the first thing that came in my mind is don't do petty parenting, and what I mean by that, in the short version, is um, I've seen parents go back and forth with their kids like they're their peer, and I feel like you're a steward. So they're paying attention to you, trying to learn how to handle conflict, how to engage in tough situations, how to handle your finances, all of the things. And so, love is patient, love is kind. You have to always remember that how you respond, because you're teaching them how to respond under pressure, being upset, all of the things. So if they are paying attention to you and how you engage with your peers, how you are, if you're petty, if you gossip, if you are, you know, whatever it is, the characteristics, because I don't want to keep going on and on. I feel like even does not keep track of wrongdoings. Now, you can say, like, as a parent, okay, you've done this, and so this is the consequence, but to continuously throw it up in their face to provoke something is something different. It's like parenting with patience, using God's words to parent, because I feel like when you use it out of the flesh, you can lash on your child or forget that that is a child that one day will use the foundation that you've laid for them towards you and everybody else in the community and how they handle themselves. I feel like as parents, if we think of that first, depending on what's going on with you and your traumas, it will change the trajectory of how you are engaging with your child, because you have to remember that your job is to steward them and to put a good product out there, um, so they are able to use the tools and the foundation that you laid for them.
Yeah, that was good. Go ahead, Mom.
I just want to touch real briefly on all 3 points. I think in number 1, using First Corinthians is a good way to keep in mind how you should be parenting or treating anybody for that matter. I think that society has changed the definition of what love really is, and people go around saying "I love you" or thinking that they love or are in love with somebody when they don't really know the true meaning. So for number 2, for me, it would be just using First Corinthians to understand what love really is, and not only using that in those moments with your teen, like remembering, um, that you should be kind or how you should love is important. For number 3, I think to me it kind of answers itself. I think unconditional love is the anchor during turbulent times or any time. You have to, I think Marnie might have said this too, you have to allow them to make mistakes, and they have to feel like making a mistake is okay and coming to you for help is okay, because that unconditional love is there even when they mess up. And then for 4, I think what you said was important as far as number 4 is concerned. Like, I just want to reiterate what you said. I do try to make sure you guys feel respected. Like you said, there are a lot of adults that say things like, children should be seen and not heard, or they'll feel like, children's opinions doesn't matter, when in fact, um, as you get older, yeah, that experience, I think, balances out with the new knowledge that a young person can bring you. So if you're too busy thinking that children should not be heard or their opinion is not important, you miss out on a lot of learning as an older person yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that respect is very, I think it's very important. I know a lot of adults that think that they don't have to apologize to kids too. And like Marnie said, if you don't teach them how to acknowledge when they're wrong, when you are wrong, they won't grow up apologetic. They'll think that they're never wrong. They'll think that they never have to say they're wrong, or they'll become one of those people that when they do something wrong, they just try to sweep it under the rug and come back around like nothing ever happened. Like I think all of those type of habits can be instilled from childhood.
Yeah, I agree. Go ahead, Marnie.
Real quick for number four, agree with everything Kwana said. When it says, how do you teach your teenager the importance of honoring and respecting your parents, and draw inspiration from, okay, so I feel like that comes from you, how you respect yourself, and how you engage with them. Like Kawana was saying, um, in the Bible it does say, do not provoke. Parents, do not provoke your children, because sometimes parents get off on saying things that are not nice, or they whatever, and it provokes the child to behave in a certain way or hurts the child to lash out, and you just shouldn't do that. But usually parents that do that as adults. And so short version, I still do that to today. And although Ellis is 18, Tamir is 26 right now.
All right. I don't know what happened. That was an accident. Um, Sorry about that. Okay. Again, just kind of touching on communication a little bit more. Um, we have first be truthful. We have to be honest with ourselves and others, because honest communication within the family keeps us accountable to our shared values. And this is talking about, of course, you communicating with your parents as well as your parents communicating with you. Communication on both ends are important. Many of us prefer a world where the truth is relative and we can be right regardless of the mountain of evidence that refutes our claims. This approach is unhelpful. We must acknowledge the fact that we aren't always right, be open to honest feedback, and be courageous enough to give honest feedback. 2. Be loving. I've heard many people say the truth hurts. In my experience, the truth often exposes insecurities, vulnerabilities, and things we'd rather not share with others. So it makes us uncomfortable when someone highlights those things. We have to be aware of how our words impact one another. Establish a connection first and gently speak the truth with love. Be purposeful. We can tell the truth with love when we have a pure and clear motive to help each other grow. Check your motive and tone and grow together. So, these are things that can help you with your communication. So, cues. A cue is something that is said or done to signal an action from another person. Spend time in conversations getting to know each other's interests, strengths, weaknesses, concerns, hobbies, etc. Ask questions that extend beyond how was your day. Add questions like, what was your favorite part of the day? Only then will you truly understand when your fellow family member needs you to take a certain action to help them grow. Distractions. Even after we get to know each other, we still tend to miss cues due to daily distractions. There is nothing worse than trying to converse with someone who's distracted. Put your phone down, turn the TV off if you have to, make eye contact, and listen to understand, not respond. Be attentive, empathetic, and caring, especially when your family member is being vulnerable. So, again, all these things work from a parent or a child's point of view. This creates a safe space for open and honest communication. Some research indicates that we are becoming as attentive as goldfish and that we can only pay attention for 8 seconds or less. I feel like that's kind of me a little bit. So don't be a goldfish. 4. Body language matters. My wife, well, of course, I don't have no wife, so I told you I got this from a devotional, will quickly tell me I know what that face means, to which I usually chuckle, don't put words in my mouth. She's right 90% of the time. Body language, including facial expressions, can completely derail a conversation. Make a conscious effort to display open or welcoming body language by unfolding your arms, matching emotions with facial expressions, and leaning forward towards your family member. It may seem awkward at first, but you'll get better with practice. 5. Have an open mind. Be willing to explore different perspectives, ideas, and opinions, even if they contradict your own, especially if they contradict your own. Unless the other person's opinion is illegal, immoral, or dangerous, understand that two seemingly conflicting opinions can be true simultaneously. And this also goes hand in hand with everyone having a voice. That means we should strive to ensure everyone feels like their opinion is heard and considered. Parents, that doesn't mean you have to give into the Candy for Breakfast campaign. And children, that doesn't mean you get to run the house or question every decision. Remember, there's a time for everything. It simply means we should value each other's opinions while practicing clearly articulating our opinions. 7. Say what you mean and mean what you say. We often say things without checking our tone, the accuracy of our words, the way the words will be perceived, or our ability to follow through. Let's be intentional with our words, choosing quality over quantity. And I want to add something to that. Another way you can do that is keeping your emotions in check. I know that we are humans, we are emotional beings, but sometimes we do act out on emotions in the moment rather than taking a second before we respond. So that's something that's important as well. And then lastly, 8, truthfulness. Colossians 3 verse 9 says it best. Don't lie to one another. You're done with that old life. It's like a filthy set of ill-fitting clothes you stripped off and put in the fire. This means we must avoid lying to and deceiving each other to build a culture of trust in the home. No family or relationship in general can function without trust. All right, so I know that was a lot, but does anyone have anything they want to say? Questions, comments, concerns? We kind of touched on communication very well, but does any of our younger folks want to add anything as well, Devon, Dakara, about communication with your parents? Because we kind of heard from the parents' side, but do you guys have anything that you would want to add as well?
I feel like communication, like the phrase communication is definitely key. And regarding like being conversive with your parents, it's also important. Like it says, like everyone has a voice, and you need to understand where each of you are coming from. But also, what I will say is, it at times it's hard to communicate with certain people. So like in my case, it is kind of hard for me to communicate with my father. So at times I kind of just steer away from it. So like that's why this whole lesson today is gonna be very like important for me. But yeah.
Okay, good. I definitely hope that this kind of helps. What about you, Devon? Do you have anything to add? If not, that's fine as well. You can just say yes or no.
So, no, excuse my legs. I'm sorry. uh, let me think. Yeah, I'll probably disagree really with what you had said, and then what she said. I believe communication is probably like the most probably the most one of the most important things between a child and a parent. I feel like it becomes really more important as kids start like wanting to do stuff, like, you feel me, as they going into different roles or changing, or, you feel me, even when they just don't understand certain things, or like uncomfortable conversations. Like, a lot of parents like to not have uncomfortable conversations because of, you feel me, how older they may be holding their kid to a certain standard that they feel like can't be discussed. You get what I'm saying? I feel like all those things all the time got to be discussed, just so, you feel me, we can have an understanding on why or why not. You get what I'm saying? Because most of the things you feel me, like, if I see my people's doing something, or I see my OG doing something, like, for instance, smoking. Like, as soon as my OG found out I had anything to do with weed, our first thing was, yeah, I don't want you to do this, this, and that. And my first excuse was, you do it. You get what I'm saying? So that's another thing I feel like, uh, as far as parenting goes, when I do become a parent, whenever that time do come, like, I'm gonna make sure that if I am doing something, I keep it away, because I don't want my kid to have an excuse if I'm telling them something. I just believe it's just a doorway. Certain doorways you don't open or make communication way better for parents, if you get what I'm saying. But yeah, that's it.
All right, so let's continue. Forgiveness. Parenting is a journey marked by Parenting is a journey marked by both triumphs and trials, a path illuminated by timeless wisdom found within the pages of the Bible. The narratives of forgiveness, resilience, and positive influence offer a blueprint for families navigating the intricate dynamics between parents and their children, reminding parents that even in the midst of rebellion or estrangement, there exists room for forgiveness. It encourages a spirit of grace, urging parents to approach conflicts with an openness to rebuilding relationships, fostering an environment of love and understanding, emphasizing communication, love, mutual respect, and forgiveness, establishes a sturdy foundation for a thriving parent to child relationship. These principles, drawn from biblical teachings, foster growth and development and contribute to a harmonious harm this is taking me out. Y'all see the word family life where love and understanding prevail by embracing the principles of trust, faith, and communication and mutual respect. Families can navigate the challenges of adolescence with grace and build lasting connection that withstand the test of time. So, how does this inspire you to approach conflicts with a spirit of grace and openness to rebuilding relationship with your children or your parents? Can you share a personal experience where forgiveness was crucial in restoring harmony within your family? So, does anybody want to answer one of these questions about forgiveness, or even like a personal experience where forgiveness was needed in your family?
It got to be family.
No,
That got one.
go ahead.
Us, really. You know, me and you, we got a long history of friendship. You feel me? I believe as we got older, it was a lot of things that we was looking past in our friendship that probably we both didn't agree with on either side. But, you feel me, it came to a point in time where, you feel me, you had stuff going on, and, you feel me, we found a way to, you feel me, just connecting. You forgave me for me not understanding and not being a good friend to you. You get what I'm saying? And, you feel me? I feel like certain people in life you may always sometimes feel like you don't need, or it may be a friend that you need to get rid of, or they may do something to like make you mad, but, you feel me, if it's something that's genuine and, you feel me, it's always both sides, it'll always find a way to be forgiven and stuff like that. But yeah, that's just my little example.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. He always we like the opposite a little bit. Like he'd be like, I'd be ready to cut people off and I'd just be done. He'd be like, no, you have to talk about it. You have to forgive. You got to do this. You got to do that. Which I agree with what he said. If it's love on both sides and some things are worth um, not rekindling, but like you said, having that time to forgive. But honestly, like y'all know how I feel like some people, some things you do have to walk away from. So Yes, that was a good example. Go ahead, Marnie.
I it was a situation where um my well for people know him, my oldest son had went away. He had to do time, and I was very I was a bunch of things, and it wasn't that I didn't that I had a forgiveness issue with him. It was more so um, after I tapped in because I have a I can fix it. Let me fix this. Let me make this happen. But I was prophesied to, and then when I realized that God was saving him, um, it kind of smooth. It changed the whole narrative. So um, it was something like this needed to happen. And sometimes we don't understand when God does things, but it needed to happen for us to still have him. You know what I mean? So it wasn't like I was mad at him. I wanted him to get the lesson. And I just kept making sure that us as a family, we stayed close and we stayed encouraging.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was a teachable moment that even in like, that probably was the worst time of his life or the worst
Mm-hmm.
time of all our lives. You know what I mean? But just to let you know that God got you. That's the most important person, and we got your back as well, no matter what. And we stand 10 toes down in agreement, and we're not judging. We're walking through this until we make it to the other side. And so I feel like that's how I move in general with all of my relationships. If they're worth keeping,
Mm-hmm.
that you look at the situation. What is this really about? Let me analyze this. What is God trying to tell me about this? Is it a warning or whatever? And then you move forward from there. But you can't tap into the unforgiveness because that's taken away from your abilities to be able to pray for people and see things clearly
Mm-hmm.
and the blessings on you and your legacy.
Yeah. Yes, thank you guys for sharing. Let's continue. And then if you guys want to do, um, if you guys want to add anything else, of course, you guys know that you can always use the chat. Don't be afraid to utilize the chat. Accepting responsibility requires humility, honesty, integrity, and a commitment to learning from our experiences and striving to do better in the future. We demonstrate maturity, self awareness, and a sense of personal accountability by accepting responsibility for our actions, which helps make the family we all desire fully functional. So hold each other accountable. So you as children hold your parents accountable, and you as parents hold your children accountable as well. It should be like you guys working together. Personal accountability is one part of the equation, but we all need reliable family members to help hold us accountable. These are folks who give us that gentle nudge in the right direction when we need it. Because a home that has a strong culture of responsibility and accountability is a home that encourages success and collaboration. I hope you guys see how all of this is coming together. Accountability in the home begins by having clear expectations of each other so we understand our role in making each other better. The only way to set and continually refine these expectations is to maintain open and transparent communication. That means we have to feel comfortable expressing our thoughts, concerns, and ideas without fear of judgment, frustration, and rudeness. If it's said in love, we should receive it in love. Holding each other accountable with love is the only way, like Marnie was saying, to help our fellow family members take ownership or personal responsibility for their actions and behavior. Think about it. Our natural instincts tells us to defend once we are attacked. That means that the right correction given in the wrong manner will only cause your family members to build defensive walls. And defensive walls in our homes won't lead to collaboration. In other words, you are causing more dysfunction. We must respect each other's feelings and perspectives. This respect forms the foundation for constructive feedback, allowing accountability to be approached in a positive and supporting manner. I love the word constructive here because it's a good reminder that we are building each other up as we build a bond when we hold each other accountable. That means we are here for each other and we are obligated to make each other better. So, talk to your parent or your child and just get them to kind of understand that you are here to make them better and to help them grow. Is this it? Oh, okay. So this is the end of the slide. Does anybody want to, the presentation for this week? Does anybody want to add any existing thoughts that they had that they get to say, comments, concerns, anything that they want to just put out there or get clarification on? Anything? You guys have the floor now. 'Cause I know last time we went over a little bit or we didn't have time. But we got a couple more minutes if anybody wants to share. Charlie, do you want to add anything? No? Go ahead, Marnie.
I just wanted to be quick talking to the kids and when I say kids, I don't mean it in under disrespect. I just mean like younger. That make sure that you guys understand that being a parent is a lot of work and it doesn't come with a rule book. Now they have parenting classes, but those parenting classes, I'm not saying don't work. I'm saying real time and real life is like hands on experience. And so a lot of times we're parents and the parents haven't even had time to address their traumas from their parents, if there are any. And so just you guys getting this information right now hopefully can start shaping the way you look at your own parent, different things that you might have engaged with them, things that you didn't like, and you looking forward to being a better parent, because that's all we want as parents is for you guys to be better than we are, and we want the absolute best for you. And hopefully this segment helps you guys to forgive anything that might have offended you, that your mother or your father might have done, said, or behaved in a way that you feel like didn't line up with what a parent should or should not do. Kind of look a little bit deeper into that person and find out about your grandparents and how they were parenting your parent. That makes a difference as well. But just moving forward in your young adult and adulting life, make sure that unforgiveness does not dwell in your spirit, because it's not worth it. And it takes away so much joy and your purpose of who you are truly meant to be. So I just wanted to let you guys know that um, it's a journey for both of us being parents, and for you all being, younger adults going into a more adult role. And we just need to have that communication and a safe space for you all to be able to project and see things from our side and vice versa.
Yep, I agree. All right, well, if no one else has anything to add, we will do the closeout prayer for today. Heavenly Father, thank you for giving us family members we can trust. No matter what has happened in the past, we are committed to be more honest and open with each other. We pray for your strength and guidance when conflicts and disagreements arise so we can grow stronger and closer to you and to each other. We are grateful for the opportunity to grow. Thank you for our wonderful families. Amen. All right, so thank you guys for joining. I hope you guys like this slide. Next week we're still doing the parent and kids thing, but we're going to go into part 2. So we're going to really be talking about a little bit of, I guess you could say, the traumas and again the structure of the black household specifically and how maybe some of those traumas affected you as a kid, you as a parent, whatever the case may be. We're going to go a little bit deeper. So, my parents on here, if you want to invite your parents or your child, that is highly encouraged. And then also for people my age as well, if you guys want to invite your parents, that's totally fine as well. Or even friends, family members, whoever you think might need it or get something from it, you can always just send out the link to the Google Meets, and then as well as the Telegram chat channel as well.